Welcome, everyone, to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm Bart Berger, and I'll be your host for this edition of the Bowling University Profit Break. Thank you for joining us. Our mission here at the university is to enrich people's lives personally and professionally, and the Profit Break is an opportunity for sharing insights on how to grow revenue, reduce costs, enrich yourself, your team, and your business. If you're joining the Profit Break for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you'll be well on your way to improving your profitability. Now today we're fortunate to have with us Mr. Greg Perkins, an industry veteran who spent 20 plus years with the Brunswick Group, operating centers of all shapes and sizes and volumes around the southeastern part of the U.S. During that time, he also held the position of national brand manager and worked on developing league programs for 100 plus Brunswick bowling centers. Now, he and his wife, Lisa, are the proud owners of Strikers Family Sports Center in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Now, don't let the name fool you. Strikers is a 40-lane traditional center with a focus on league bowling as its core product. And if that's not enough, in his free time, Greg is a writer for our industry magazine, Bowling Center Management, and contributes to the Marketing Insights section. And on a personal level, in my opinion, he is absolutely one of the best bowling marketing minds in the industry today. Welcome, Greg. Thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. I know you're busy.
Thank you, Bart. That was a very nice introduction.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Well, hey, let's jump into it here. Now, one of the things that we've seen is, coming out of the pandemic, we have a lot of new people in our industry, first-time managers, first-time owners, and those of us that have been around a while, we assume that everybody knows what a league bowler is. So let's start off with kind of your definition of what is a league bowler.
Well, I look at there's really a couple different types of league. Well, there's probably many types of league bowlers, but there are the traditional leagues where they're really aficionados, take it seriously, and want to score well and that type of thing. And then there are just leagues where people are bowling for fun. But really, anything can be a league. There can be a group that just has a standing reservation to fill, like, say, you have just 2 lanes left, and you have a group that likes to bowl together, and they just come out every week. We've had some of those too. So that's really like a league. So it's the ultimate frequency program. No other industry has a program like it. And just imagine, I always tell my employees that imagine that you could, a restaurant could say you have to bowl for the next 36 weeks. You have to eat here for the next 36 weeks. And if you want to stop eating here, you have to give us 2 weeks written notice and that type of thing. So we really have a committed core group of league bowlers, and that's a tremendous value.
Yeah, and I think you said something key there, Greg, and that is that term frequency. So internally, we use this jargon called league, but the reality is, what I heard you saying was that any guest that comes to see us on a frequent basis, can be a league, a club, or any type of social. Just it's that frequency that defines them as that great guest.
Exactly. That's what it is. And it's extremely important, I think, when you have, say, an economic downturn or a recession and unemployment goes up, that if you have that base of regular customers or, call them leagues, that's going to really buffer the impact of, like I said, a recession or something like that. And that's one of the big values, I think, because it is true that you can probably make more money during good times, with some open play. But the other thing about league bowling is, for the most part, it's Monday through Thursday, maybe Sunday night in some cases, if you can get a league formed. But those are day parts that you wouldn't fill with open play bowling.
Yeah. So before we jump into some tactics, and I know you've got a lot of great ones, let's talk about defining the value of that frequent guest or the league guest. Because can we put a dollar amount on what's that league guest worth to us, and maybe even a new league guest?
Well, a new league guest could be. I'll start with the regular league bowler. The estimates are somewhere around $500. Give or take, but say 500, just so you have a rough value. I was just thinking this morning as I was driving to work, I thought, what's a 20x4 league pay per night? And I just did the math in my head at our lineage, and it's right around $1,000, just shy of $1,000. And they probably eat and drink $600, $700, $800. So if you start a big league, which is 20x4 is a big league, that's it's $1,800 in sales that you probably would not be able to generate from open play on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, and
but a new league bowler, I'm sorry, Bart, but a new league bowler, I want to touch on that, is extremely valuable because they are a potential lifelong guest. So that 500, they may bowl, summer, they may bowl the next fall, they may bring some other family members into it, and that's where that becomes a really big value. I don't even know how to estimate it, but it's a lot.
Yeah, we've had challenges over the years to define that lifetime value of a league guest. But I think for our folks tuning in, just that $500 price tag, right? Yours may be a little more, a little less. But if you can just think about that, league guest is worth $500 on average. That changes the whole scope about the way we think about it. Now, Greg, you've been doing this a long time. So what's changed over the years in developing league guests? Has it gotten easier, harder? I mean, where are you with this?
It's definitely gotten harder. I mean, across the industry. And I'm fortunate. I'm in a smaller market that's very conducive to league bowling. And because I've been in some markets where it just was very difficult. It was not as big a part of the community, or there were more entertainment options, maybe something along those lines. So I'm fortunate currently that we're seeing good demand. So maybe there is a slight uptick, but clearly over the last 30 years, the trend has been down, especially for sanctioned leagues. But I think it's just it is one of the reasons it's gotten harder is that just people have probably less time to commit. They're busier, and people maybe just don't commit to long-term things like a 36-week league. That's probably the biggest obstacle. The people that I talked to that used to bowl but didn't really get hooked, but they had fun. They say, well, it was fun, but by the end of that thing, that was a long season. And that's one of the things that we address with short season leagues. But so it is probably more challenging. It definitely is more challenging than it used to be. Demand in the 80s was much higher for league bowling, but that doesn't mean that we can't get better at it and still make some money.
Yeah, what you said was key, and we have a phrase we use here at the university teaches that it's not going to get any easier. We just have to get better at it, and certainly you've continued to develop and get better at it. So you said something about weeks, right? About a long season, short season. So one of the questions that we get a lot is how many weeks does a league have to bowl? From a proprietor standpoint, give us your philosophy on the number of weeks and how long you have them bowl in your place.
Well, and I'm fortunate that we have a lot of traditional leagues that they bowl almost all of them 33 to 36 weeks. And but we start short season leagues to fill in the gaps. And, if one league said we just want to try it for 6 weeks and see if we like it, then that would be fine too. New leagues, it's very difficult to start a new league with new bowlers and say 36 weeks. That's just a hard thing to do. But if you are in a situation where you have those leagues, what I would say is hold on to them, for dear life, because there's a big value in having leagues that bowl all the way until May. But if you can't have that, then start with short season leagues. And the number of weeks really is whatever you think you can sell, what you think will appeal to people.
Yeah, I think you said something that's priceless, and I just want to make sure our viewers heard us there. It's whatever the number of weeks you think you can sell is. It's not an either or, and they all can coexist peacefully with traditional long season leagues, shorter season leagues. You mentioned 4 weeks. I love that. So, hey, let's jump into some tactics while we have you here. What are some key elements in running a successful league kickoff?
Well, it starts actually right now, at this time of the year when leagues are ending, and we call it league surveys. At Brunswick, we called it lane to lane, and it amounts to the same thing. It's going lane to lane with. I have a book here. Well, I got a sheet. You may not be able to see this, but anyway, we have all the bowlers. No, we just actually I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. We have a binder, and this comes from BLS. These are called it's under prep for next season. And we print out, this league is called the leftovers. And we talk to every bowler, and we ask them just 3 or 4 questions. Are you returning as a team, and we'll go to the team captain. Now, I know every center doesn't have team captains, but we do establish that at Strikers, and it helps us. And they say, yes, we're coming back. There'll be a lot of teams where they don't change members. Sometimes one person may move or join another league. So we try to find out if the team's returning. If you do, then you're pretty much done. If they tell you that, with that team, you can move to the next lane. But if you're and so, yeah, the other question you want to ask them is if they're not returning or they're switching to another league, if they say they are not bowling, you would want to find out why, so that maybe there's some way you can get better. And the last thing we would do is to ask them, will you be bowling this summer? And you might have one marquee league that you're promoting. You may have a flyer or, several of those flyers that you can hand out to promote your summer league. And that's important because then you know what your starting point is for the next year. You know that you've got this many teams returning, and it could change over the course, of the summer. But that's what you know. You have an idea. And if you don't know how many lanes you're going to have, you don't know what's left to sell. But if and you also can identify leagues that are going to be a problem. Like you can say, these surveys did not come out good. This is going to come in light. We got to steer people towards Tuesday night or whatever the case. So that needs to happen now before the league's ends. Nobody likes doing it. It's not that much fun, but it has to get done. I believe in it.
Yeah. No, and it's critical because you're taking an active role in the running of your leagues there, which is, even with traditional leagues, is critical in today's environment. So, is a league sign up the same as a league bowler?
It doesn't correlate exactly, but I've been measuring that actually as we do a summer contest. I used to think if someone signs up, they're making a commitment. Yes, they may just sign up and not show up. And I used to tell my managers that it's going to be about 80%. But we started a summer incentive contest where they get the employees can earn $5 for just getting the sign up. And if they show up, just the first day they show up to actually bowl, it becomes $10. And I believe in incentive contests, so I think it helps. So when I track it, I come up with a number between 67 and 69%, right about 70 of the sign-ups show up. And I just believe that when people put something down in writing, even though it's not a legal document or a contract of any kind, that they're committed, or most of them are.
Yeah. So you talked about incentives. I know you're passionate about that. Walk us through again. I want to make sure everybody caught that about how you use incentives in your center and the monetary amount that you pay people, your team members, especially in this environment of keeping great team members, for the sign-up and the league bowler. Walk through that for us.
Well, we call it give me 5 or 10. And if they get a sign-up, and I only do it in the summer. I maybe could do it in the fall, but the fall is, a lot of that are people just returning. The summer is all about new bowlers. And that's the beauty of it. And Bart, I can remember you joking years ago saying that go for the new bowlers in the summer because nobody's told them they're not supposed to bowl in the summer. And which is what you sometimes will hear from your diehard core league bowlers. Although lesser with seniors, as we have more of a senior base, they're more likely, I believe, to bowl year-round. And so the contest is if they get a new bowler, and a new bowler is just someone that didn't bowl in our center the previous summer. Like they could have bowled, so it can be someone who's not a brand new bowler, but someone who just doesn't bowl in the summer, and they never have. And for some reason, you have an offer this year that makes them they get excited about, and then they're new. Because to me, that's incremental to the previous year, and there's a value in that. So, and summer, I don't know. I wish I knew the exact amount, but I would say that a lot of times it's got to be close to 50% are people who are either new to league bowling or, have just moved here from somewhere else, or there would be that new bowler. So the employees can make some good money, and it helps us grow the business. In fact, I have someone here with me. Joanne, you want to come over here?
Oh, another special guest.
Yes, a special guest. She is the best salesperson I've ever seen. I mean, as far as selling league bowling. And Joanne used to own her own business. So she takes everything, ownership of everything she does. And she makes, in this contest, she's made $1,000 the last 2 years. And it is true that she does far better than the others. A few people do it. In fact, I jokingly call this Joanne's, I tell my other employees, it's Joanne's summer bonus program. That, you can't let her be the only one to make some decent money on it. But I just am amazed at how well she sells. But she doesn't sell too hard. She has good humor about it. And, what do you think, Joanne, are the keys to selling league bowling?
To me, the key is, first of all, knowing your leagues. What leagues are going to fit with what bowlers? Also, while doing that, your first point of contact is the counter. When they're purchasing games, you ask them, are you a league bowler? Have you ever bowled in a league before? Would you like to bowl this summer? I've got the perfect league. By knowing your leagues, it's a lot easier to sell that to those customers and know what league would be best for them. A lot of them are new bowlers that maybe have never bowled leagues before. We do have youth and adult leagues where at the end of the league, the child can get their own bowling ball. That is an easy one to sell when the parents can come out, bowl with their kids, they get their own ball, they get it professionally drilled to fit their hands. It's an easy sell. As long as you know your leagues and what's going to be best for those customers, it's easy to sell your leagues.
Awesome.
You just have to speak with them and know where to direct them.
Well, Joanne, you had a lot of great nuggets in that little short bit there, and I just want to recap for our folks there. You said make sure ask the guests, knowing your leagues and then matching them with the right product. That's incredible. Greg, no wonder she's a superstar. No wonder she does such a great job there. Joanne, I know you're going to make lots of money this summer again in Joanne's incentive program there, and I appreciate you adding that. So, Greg, before we wrap up today, because we're getting a little short on time with all this great knowledge, and I want to give some folks where to go for more information. In all seriousness, people like you and Joanne have really forgotten more about league bowling than most of us know. Are there 3 or 4 nuggets you can leave with us today and share with us about how to make sure we have a great league season?
Do the end of season lane bowling. That it takes time and it's not easy, not always that much fun. Sometimes you feel like you're annoying someone, but really, I don't think people are annoyed being asked to join a club that they're a member of. I think they'd be, to some degree upset if you didn't ask them. So we just got to get over that part of not wanting to find out where we stand by doing an end of league survey or lane to lane. That's step one. The other thing is to start early. That you have to have your flyer out by July 1st at the latest, and it doesn't hurt to have it out a little earlier than that. And then find someone like Joanne, or try to, who will ask every customer and just drill it home to make it a habit. And I do think the incentive contest adds something to that. So that's a part of it. And I also, just a small little thing is that we track our signups and put them into teams. And then if people don't have teams, they go at the bottom of the form. And then we start matching people up. But we don't, even at Brunswick, we didn't, a couple good sales directors did it this way, but a lot of times we just knew, well, we've got 60 people and the force, so it's 15 teams. But I just think there's a value to organizing those teams before the meeting and seeing who needs a bowler so you can fill in those gaps. And lastly, I think that hang on to your league bowlers, because the retention is a big part of it. So make the season fun. Even corny little things like a turkey shoot, where you can win a turkey for getting strikes. It's a little bit of work. You got to go to the supermarket. Turkeys are heavy, but they like that kind of thing. They like those gimmicky, fun things. They like the Bowler Appreciation Week. We gave them walking tacos last year, and they appreciate that. It breaks up the long season. So just fun little things, because we have to do everything we can to retain the base that we have, and it's a year-long, year-round process of trying to get new folks to the bowl league.
Yeah. Well, Greg, Joanne, thank you for your time. You impact a lot of great information for folks tuning in today. Continued success. I know you got leagues going on right now. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Bart.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, hey, Greg unpacked a lot, and we've got some incredible resources for you. I want to point out two things before we let you go today. One is we've got a great on-demand online course called Increasing Guest Frequency. It walks you through some of the steps that Joanne and Greg talked about. And then in addition, we did a project called the System of League Bowling. It's available on your website at bpa.com. It walks through many of the steps in more detail that Greg shared with you on how to make sure you take care of that most important guest. So I'd encourage you to check out those resources for you. So everyone, as we wrap up another edition of the Bowling University Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next time for another great episode. If you have any questions about today's show or would like to get in touch with Greg, you can reach us anytime at education@bpaa.com. Also, you and your team can watch any of our previous episodes 24/7 by visiting bowlinguniversity.net. The Profit Break content is available when you want it, and we have new episodes premiering every month. Until then, I'm Bart Berger, and remember, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.